It's sports on 32 FM 94.9. .932 FM. Welcome to Scoreboard Reloaded. I am Peter Omo. On the show this afternoon, we'll talk about the CAF Awards that will be going down next week, on Monday to be precise, in Marrakesh, in Morocco. And CAF have said in the last few hours, we've got the 3 across all categories ready. And so we'll wait to see who's going to win the Men's Player of the Year, Women's Player of the Year, the Best Goalkeeper of the Year. All of these will happen in the next few days. We'll discuss that because maybe some kind of talking point based on what we witnessed in the last few hours from CAF, FIFA, UEFA, Ballon d'Or organizers. There's the way they get us talking. Even referees, there's a way they get us talking. Sam is here. We'll do more of the talking. I will just go about asking him the questions. And if I need to also chip in 1 or 2 things, I'll also do. We'll also check those heavyweight games that will be going down this weekend. There's a Manchester City derby. Well, Ruben Amorim last night got a win away from home, 2-1. And so we're looking forward to this game. Very critical. For Pep Guardiola, it's all about that question. Can you turn things around? Can things change? And that thing he keeps saying, give me my players. I don't know, took those players away from him. Maybe we'll get a few of those players this weekend. And of course, across England, the last few minutes or few hours, it'll depend on where the press conference are coming from. They're almost done, if not done, and managers are speaking. For Mikel Arteta, that question keep coming to him. Will you make signings in January? And of course, for Carlo Ancelotti, say to the media in Spain in the last few minutes, I'm taking all of these boys, including Eder Militao, Dani Carvajal, I'm taking them to Doha for the Intercontinental Cup. No longer the Club World Cup, because that would be in the US. That's a bigger one now. We'll also take a look at some of the things happening back home in the NPFL if we do have time. Sammy is here. For the Europeans, they know the opponents in terms of who we play against who for the World Cup. For we on the continent, we've begun. The guys in Asia, they've started. South America, they've started. For the Europeans, they were busy with some few little assignments. The Euros, the Nations League. Now, in the last few hours, the confirmation of teams, how they will go about traveling and playing ahead of the World Cup in 2026. The US, Mexico, and Canada will host. I've got my co-host here with me, SAMIES. Where do we start from? Let's start from CAF Awards because that has to be, they say, charity begins at home. So let's start from home because that definitely is good for us. And this got me talking. Maybe the others didn't get me. Maybe they got you talking. You probably want to share with me when I saw the goalkeepers nominees and I didn't see Stanley Nwabali. And I saw the goalkeeper for Ivory Coast who was in goal for them at the Nations Cup. I also saw Onana, who was in goal for... He was never in goal for Cameroon during the Nations Cup, but he was playing for Manchester United. He was in Nations Cup, but hey, didn't play because, at the point in time, he was left on the bench. And then the goalkeeper from South Africa, Ronnie Williams, from Sundowns, that is not a big surprise to me, but what really amazes me is... when I see Onana there and there's no Stanley Nwabali who got about 4 clean sheets in 7 games, saw what he did during the penalty shootout against the Bafana, and he's not there. For the African Player of the Year, the final nominees are out. Achraf Hakimi, Serge Guirassy of Borussia Dortmund, Simon Adingra. I don't know how many games he played. How many he played for Côte d'Ivoire, but he played during the knockout stage, the final, semi-final and final. We saw he turned things around in the final against the Super Eagles. Ademola Lookman, the one Samuels like to call Adibobo, and of course Ronnie Williams. I don't know, maybe this one got you talking, Sammy. But for me, it has to be that part where goalkeepers. And I keep saying to myself, how come we got to this point where, for me, again, I say for me, I don't know about for others, another name is popping up here. If he goes ahead to win, it will even shock me more. Sammy, it's a pleasure having you.
Well, definitely, it's actually a nice one. Being on the show this afternoon, where it's a build-up to everything we probably expect over the course of the weekend. And now we actually begin from what we expect on Monday. That's a Monday night, that gala there in Marrakesh. But when we talk about the inclusion of Andre Onana in the shortlist of the goalkeeper of the year, well, it came as a surprise to me also yesterday when I saw the list where Stanley Nwabali, who had been a big revelation for Nigeria in the year 2024. But then, that also makes me question, for Onana, he was in goal just once during the African Cup of Nations. I remember I played against Tottenham Hotspur, that was in the English Premier League, before he flew into Cameroon, and then
48 hours.
Yeah, he was in goal. And from that moment, I don't think he was in goal again after that game.
Yeah.
And then throughout the competition, before Cameroon Outstar, he was on the bench, and immediately they got eliminated. I think they lost to Nigeria, and now he flew out of that Ivory Coast and went straight to join up on Manchester United. But now it also makes me, like I said, I keep questioning it that what is he doing there? How is he getting there at this point? Because I don't know what he has done to be on that list. If truly it's about a calendar year performance. When we talk about a calendar year performance, what did Onana achieve with Manchester United? Well, he won the English FA Cup with the Red Devils, but his performance on the field of play, was that impressive when you compare that to the other goalkeepers who made the shortlist? For Ronan Williams, we all saw what he did at the African Cup of Nations, saving 4 spot kicks or 3 spot kicks thereabouts. Then we saw Stanley Nwabali against that's a team in which a lot of people think or thought Nigeria were going to lose because of the heroics in which Ronan Williams has showed before we played against them. But it happened to be that Ronan Williams had his own trick off his sleeves, as Stanley Nwabali, on the other hand, he had his own tricks also off his sleeves, and he came out to be the better one. And then he went all the way to reach the finals of the African Cup of Nations. But since then, as Stanley Nwabali looked back on his performance with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, no. But for Amadou, that's, I don't know why Amadou Onana keeps coming to mind, because there are lots of Onanas. But now, Andre Onana, when we look at him, his gameplay has not been impressive enough for me to actually see him better than Stanley Nwabali this year. Because we take a look at Cameroon, the World Cup qualifiers, where are they? The African Cup of Nations qualifiers, yes, Cameroon, they qualified all square and good, but how impressive also has he been? For Nigeria now, can we do without Stanley Nwabali? Maybe yes, because we will concede goals. And then we talk about Cameroon, can they do without Onana? Yes, they can do without him, because we've seen that in a few games from the World Cup. That was in the year 2022, where he had that issues with the Cameroonian FA. But for South Africa, their legendary goalkeeper, well, you think he's young? Ronald Williams is not young. He's in his 30s. So I think you can also look at it that can they do without him at this point? No. He is the captain of the side. Aside from Pesitao being in the squad and Makai, all of them being in the squad, I tell you, take a look at all of that. But it's actually a big blow not seeing that Stanley Nwabali make the final shortlist of players for the goalkeepers for the goalkeeper of the year. But I actually need to credit Ronald Williams. I think he's going to be the biggest winner at that's in Marrakesh come Monday, because for the player of the year, he was nominated. The Interclub player of the year, he was nominated, as well as the goalkeeper of the year. So I don't think he's going to lose out on all three.
Maybe he's going to probably get 1 or 2 in the bags.
Well, for me, I think 2 actually sits on the plate for him.
Goalkeeper of the year?
Goalkeeper of the year and the Inter player of the year. But if you look at it also, well, I would say, what did Mamelodi Sundowns player of the year? Yeah, what did Mamelodi Sundowns? What did they win on the continent? And then we take a look at the South Ivorian goalkeeper. His name is not coming to head now. Yes, he won the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
So that can be the cutting edge for him. But then He trades his game with European side that's in France. But for Ronald Williams, I think this actually should be one he's going to go home with. And also, it's not going to be a doubt. He's going to make the African that's 11. And that's actually a good one for him.
Okay. So, I know the other one that they're not caught in any form of controversy in this one. Women goalkeeper of the year, women player of the year, men's player of the year.
Well, I was going to say the women's player of the year. It has a bit of controversy also. Because now I would say for Chiamaka Nnadozie, despite being a Nigerian, what has she done to deserve to be on that shortlist? To be sincere, we look at the Nigerian national side at the African Olympic Games.
Yeah.
What did we do? No African side they performed at the African Cup at the Olympics, but in the calendar year we can judge them based on their club performance. If we actually want to look at anything, Chiamaka Nnadozie with Paris FC, what did she do? What has she done? Yes, she had a few clean sheets and all of that.
She was playing the UEFA Champions League for
playing in the UEFA
season.
Champions League. But then, can we also talk about
Barbara
Banda?
And we know the team they sent packing before they got to the group stage. Arsenal ladies.
Yeah, Arsenal ladies. They played against Arsenal ladies and Wolfsburg ladies.
Yeah.
And they defeated both last season's semi-finalists or 2 seasons ago semi-finalists to get to the group stage of the UEFA Champions League. We talk about Barbara Banda joining the American side, MLS side, as she did all of that. But now there's one name who didn't make the list. The most expensive African women's African player. Yeah. That's the Zambian. Yes. What's his name? Kipchoge also didn't make the list. So it's actually a long list also when we talk about female players who performed well, but they didn't make the short list. For that's Rashida Tajibade also. This is a player who didn't make the final short list. So you can question all of that as well.
Okay. So, so many questions, but a few answers we can and others we cannot. So that's what it is as we speak right now in terms of what will be happening in the next few days in Marrakesh.
Fair and square. We used to have a top 3. We'll talk about men's football, the awards and all of it. But CAF decided to leave it as top 5 for this year. So why the top 5? Why all of these things? Now in the top 5 we have who? Rodan Williams, Ademola Lookman, Simon Adingra. We have Wales, Achraf Hakimi. Well, can we say Achraf Hakimi? Yes. His side, Morocco, did they perform at the African Cup of Nations? No. We saw them at the Olympics. It was part of the side that went to the Olympics. Did they perform well? Yes. They were. I think they came up with the third place. Third place. They will take a look at Paris Saint-Germain. What did they do? He won the league. He won the cup. But how impressive! How influential was Achraf Hakimi?
If you take him off the
team,
they win?
They would win. That's a French footer. That's a Paris Saint-Germain for you.
Okay.
But then you take a look at other players. Simon Adingra, can he play outside? Can he be excused from Brighton squad?
Yes.
Will they go on? We get the results? Yes.
For Cote d'Ivoire? Yes.
For Cote d'Ivoire, yes. Gorsai, as a last season for Stuttgart, if you take him out of the side, would they get victory? I'll tell you no. Yes. So we talk about
national team. Nations Cup didn't click well.
Well, I felt all of these things. One man should have made the list, but because of the ban FIFA placed on him now, and that's why he's not making the short list.
The
Equatorian Guinean, who was the highest goal scorer, a defender,
the old man.
So all of these things are put together. We just wait till Monday night to know who is going to come out on top. To win the African Men's Player of the Year and all of the accolades that we have. That's on Monday. And it's a good one for Nigeria. Like I said this morning on the show, we had lots of nominations for the men's national team, women's national team. We were nominated, but I'm very sure none is going to go to the Nigerian side. We'll talk about club side, the Do Queens. They've done so well, and they are also on the short list.
Them also nominated. But one thing that, you see, those national team for men and for women, we can do without those. But the big one on the stage, which is going to be the curtain raiser, the one that will climax everything on Monday night, will be the men's player of the year. That is what I'm interested in. The other ones, we can lose the battle, but we don't want to lose the war. The war is for us to go win the African Player of the Year. Demola Lookman, let me say this, even though don't say I'm jumping the gun, congratulations to you. I know you're going to win because we don't want to be on our way to Marrakesh on Tuesday morning to go and tell CAF to do some shalaye for us. But one man, let's head to the Manchester Derby this weekend. There's plenty of shalaye. between Ruben Amorim and Pep Guardiola. Let's start, of course, with Pep Guardiola. And I've defended you enough, man. You keep saying you bounce back, you bounce back. Take a listen to Pep. Still saying, I will bounce back. Who will get it done? It wasn't done for them. On Wednesday night in Turin, where they lost to the Hot Lady by 2-0. This time they play against Manchester United. It is the Manchester Derby on Sunday. Pep Guardiola.
We are the best. I love my team. Of course, I question myself in the good moments and the bad moments. I was stable in the good moments, and I'm stable in the bad moments. Of course, I try to find a way and do it, but the game was there. So, and that is not. I'm incredibly honest about knowing when we don't play good or don't play good. Always the game will save us. Of course, the results, the confidence give us results, give us a good boost, and okay, we can do it. But today we concede.
All right, so I'll let SAMIES react. I'll still go back to Manchester, but this time I want to get that of Ruben Amorim. For him, it's about trying to make some meaning positive from the game last night, where they came back from a goal down to win against Victoria Plzen, where they won by 2-1. And he's speaking about, did you see that, before I say the pictures or the videos of Diallo and Højlund having an argument, a discussion, or whatever you want to call it? For Ruben, he said, I like that, because it goes to show that we as families, and as families, that times we fight. You know that thing they say in this part of the world, that no matter how the tongue and the teeth fought, when they sip and they yam, they were lying. Take a listen to Ruben Amorim.
Rasmus Højlund and Ahmad were unhappy with each other at the final whistle for not having passed to each other in 2 late breaks. Were you aware of that?
Yes, and for me it's perfect. We need to feel something. You know, in this moment we need to feel something. If we need to fight each other, it's like a family. For me it's a very, very good sign. We need to feel something, and that is important.
Sami, how important it is for you to fight a family member?
A lot of people say you disagree to agree.
Yeah,
it's not all arguments. It's not all battles you win.
But you must make positive from this.
Well, I'll look at Amorim since he got the job at Manchester United. Well, he has been making lots of talks. Some, yes, he's absolutely saying the truth about what needs to be done, like saying Manchester United, they are a big club but not a big family, and all of that.
But the one I saw yesterday, I don't know how true this, how verifiable is this one, is said he didn't know that the United's job is this crazy or this big. No, not quoting what he said, but that what he was expecting is not what he meant, blah blah blah, all these things.
But for Manchester United, since 2013, if I'm correct, when this man, Sir Alex Ferguson, left, well, it has been that's all that has happened since that man. I think he covered a lot within Manchester United. And I remember that 2013, he won the league with virtually all the old legs within Manchester United. Their rebuild process, when did it start? And all of these things, you put all these things together, Manchester United, they are just like that last born who is being pampered and all of that. So things are not going well for them since all the managers they've used David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, they've had Luis Van Gaal, they've had managers upon managers, caretaker, interim management, and all of these things. But how many of them have come out to say that I want to fill in the voids of Sir Alex Ferguson within Manchester United?
They've all said it so many times that they're not here to fill the void.
That is the benchmark. That is the yardstick in which managers should also look into now. And for you to actually get the Manchester United job, you have to be a dictator. Will I say dictator, but a disciplinarian, where you look at things and say this is what you want for yourself if you actually want to progress. So you don't go into the way others they've gone. Because how many years, in fact, since Alex Ferguson left, how many years has another manager spent? What is the longest 7 year for a manager after Sir Alex Ferguson? How many seasons did David Moyes use? Luis Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ralf Rangnick, all of them. How many years did they use? It's not even up to the number of years in which Sir Alex Ferguson spent at Manchester United.
None of them has even done half of that yet. So don't drag us to that part. Or wait to see what will become of Ruben Amorim over years. But it's a Manchester derby this weekend. But earlier, it was Pep Guardiola who spoke about the best. They are the best. And of course, if they have to get to the best, they have to come with the best to dance in that party on Sunday, the Manchester derby. And we'll wait to see what will happen. He also spoke about Ruben Amorim, that he's a good guy, should get the job done with United, and in his word he says he will do a good job at Manchester United for sure. His influence is already there. All the patterns they start to do it. How good the movement, everyone does it, and every runners and places. This was just Pep just sharing his thoughts a few hours ago ahead of the game this weekend against Manchester United. Don't forget also on the continent there will also be games in the CAF Champions League and in the CAF Comfort Cup. 𝐴𝐻𝑒𝐈 will be playing away from home. They'll be playing their game that will be on Sunday 4 p.m. This time it will be away from home. And of course we'll have the Egyptian derby between Zamalek and Al-Masry also. These two, I don't forget as we speak, they are first and second in that order, while 𝐴𝐻𝑒𝐈 will be chasing the first maximum point on Sunday. But before that, of course, there will be games in the NPFL this weekend. Shooting Stars at home against Kano Pillars, and they're saying Kano Pillars must fall. Shooting Stars will be looking for back-to-back wins. They went away from home. They got maximum points against Sunshine Stars in the Kenya, where they won by 0-0 this weekend. They will be in town, home, to play against Kano Pillars. So, of course, we'll wait to see maybe the likes of Sheikh Abdullah and Ahmed Musa will be in town for that one. But definitely also other games this weekend. There will be Friday night football, and of course games will come in their numbers on Saturday. One of the games we'll see Arsenal play against Everton Football Club. There's also something around Formula 1 and SAMIES will share with us, because for the Saudis, don't forget they will be hosting the World Cup, Football World Cup in 2034. They've hosted in the last few years big events from boxing to WTA to football, type of club football. Now in the last 48 hours, they've been told they will be hosting the 2034 World Cup. But they also want something more. SAMIES, tell us more.
It's actually so exciting when we talk about the world of Formula 1. It's actually a great one, because what actually led to this conversation was the decision by Rwanda to host the Africa, that's the Formula 1 Grand Prix. So looking at it, I think it's actually going to be a good one if we can see Rwanda get that hosting right. But before we talk about Rwanda wanting to host the Formula 1, well, it is about Saudi Arabia, just like you mentioned. Saudi Arabia, we saw them this year. They hosted the Formula 1 Grand Prix, and they are not stopping at that. In the year 2029, we will see another circuit that's in the world of Formula 1 there in Saudi Arabia. They would host another one, and that would now lead me to talk about the Rwanda. That according to their president, who has come out to say that, he said that Rwanda, they want to host the Formula 1 Grand Prix. They want to bring it back to the African continent, since it last hosted one in the year 1993. That was in South Africa, in the Yalami track, and talks has collapsed, where South Africa also, they had the intentions of getting an hosting right again to host the Formula 1. And we know that the biggest event that has been hosted, we've had big events that has been hosted by South Africa, but the major one happened to be the FIFA Men's World Cup in the year 2010. And we look at all of these innovations by African side. In the year 2030, now we'd see Morocco team up with Spain and Portugal to host the 2030 Men's World Cup. That's the 100th edition of it, if I'm correct. And then we've seen that Morocco also still hosts the African Cup of Nations and all of these things, the FIFA Club World Cup. But now Nigeria is an exclusion in all of this one. How many renovations have we had? How many of these things have we experienced? But Rwanda president, he has said that he's had conversations with Formula 1 president, that's Stefano Domicelli, that he wants them to host the Formula 1. And the Rwanda sports minister also, that's Richard Hiroshima, he met with the FIA president, that's Ben Sulayem, and they've actually maybe come into a good talk and mutual conversation about how they want to get the hosting of the Formula One Grand Prix sometimes later in the future.
So because we have to go quickly, the draws for the European World Cup qualifiers went down earlier today. Group A, Germany or Italy, because everything will still be finalized by the Euro Nations League quarterfinal games in the month of March 2025. So it's that Germany or Italy in Group A, Slovakia, Northern Ireland, Luxembourg. Group B, Switzerland, Sweden, Slovenia, Kosovo. Group C, Portugal or Denmark. Greece, Scotland and Belarus. Group D, France or Croatia, Ukraine, Iceland, Azerbaijan. In Group E, Spain or Netherlands or play Turkey or Turkey, Georgia and Bulgaria. Group F, Portugal or Denmark will play against Hungary, Republic of Ireland, Armenia. Group G, Spain, Netherlands will play Poland, Finland or Lithuania and Malta. Don't forget, is that Spain or Netherlands. In Group H, Austria, Romania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Cyprus, San Marino. In Group I, either Germany or Italy will play Norway, Israel, Estonia and Moldova. In Group J, Belgium, Wales, North Macedonia, Kazakhstan, Liechtenstein. In Group F, England. I can go on, but we'll be here on Saturday from 3 p.m. for the page. And of course, when we come, we'll share more with you in terms of what happened earlier today in the European draws. They're looking forward to the World Cup in 2026. It's going to be bigger and, of course, better. I am Peter. I've done this with SAMIES. We'll be back again on Saturday from 3 p.m. And when we come, the pitch with the BBC, I will bring you all the Premier League games that will be going down for 4 p.m.
We don't just love the music that you love.